All right, shalom, shalom. All right, first and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rahakwadash. Want to give double honors to our apostles and elder bishops at Great Millstone who continue to rule well and guide us to the Spirit. Double honors to their teachers, the elder high priests as well, all right, who provided the bulk of the doctrine which we all teach and believe through the Spirit. All right, and peace and blessings, shalom to the Most High's hopeful elect across the four winds of the earth. I'm the brother Yagadal. I'm a one from GMS Houston, back with another lesson. All right, and I was just over the last couple of days, it's the Noisome Pestilence. Okay, kept going through my mind. All right, so that's what I wanted to touch on, because that's the way in which the Lord is going to destroy this kingdom. All right, take down this whole beast system. All right, this is going to be the completely, all right, leave Babylon, aka America, all right, desolate. All right, it's going to take power away from all the nations that rule in the earth, okay, and set up the stage for the everlasting kingdom, which is going to be ruled in righteousness under Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, okay, which will last forever. Why? Because sin won't dwell, all right, in the rulers, okay. That's why kingdoms have been translated, as you read in Wisdom of Solomon, the 10th chapter, all right. All right, but I just want to go into this first three verses, okay, and get some definitions for this word, for the word noisome, okay, all right, because this is the solution. All right, you got all these podcasters, all these different religions, all right, and beliefs, and people coming up with all of they can state all the problems, but nobody has a real solution outside of the prophecies of the Bible. Okay, so we know in order for us to receive the kingdom, all right, things have to get bad on this side. All right, this place has to go down. All right, it has to be what's the word? Demolition. All right, before we can start the construction of the kingdom. Okay, so the demolition is going to be done by thermonuclear fire. Okay, so with that, this is Psalm 91 and verse 1. And even before I start reading, you see here in the title, it says security of the one who trusts in the Lord. Okay. And that's what we are hoping for. We're hoping to be under the security, all right, of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai when these things come into play. All right. Jacob's trouble. All right. All the different plagues and pestilence that's set to come to this place. All right. The teeth of wild beasts, Leviathan. All right, the racial wars, civil war, all types of wars, civil wars are going to happen. It's not just going to be one side versus the other. It's just going to be all out chaos, man. All right, you can think of every end of the world movie you ever watched, every book you read about concerning it, and it won't amount to what awaits us. Okay, so we're not under the security of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. You're going to be left to one of those plagues or pestilences. Okay, so this is Psalm 91 and 1. It says, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High, which is what? This truth, which is a secret to the majority of the earth. All right, first of all, the heathen, they can't tap into the secrets of the Bible. Okay, all right, this is a spiritual book. Okay, and they have nothing to do with it outside of being extras on the wrong side. Okay. All right, but this is a secret place even unto the rest of the nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, why? Because they're not set to get this. All right, it is prophesied that 2/3 of our people will be destroyed here on the shores of America. Okay, all right, why? Because they neglected, all right, to adhere to the words or the warnings that the Most High put in the mouth of the prophets. Okay, they didn't want to accept the breakdowns. They didn't want to accept that there was an Israelite. They didn't want to accept that they had an enemy. Okay, and due to Christianity, all right, Jake is at an all-time high trying to save the so-called white man. He's not worried about the so-called Chinese, Japanese, African, all right, East Indian, Arab. It's always about the so-called white man, and that shows you that Christianity is nothing but white supremacy. Okay. All right, but we are the ones that's dwelling in the secret place of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right, by having a full understanding of this Bible, man, understanding what times we're in and what has to come to pass. All right, before we inherit the kingdom. Okay, it says, shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And that's what we are in hopes, are doing this in hopes to be protected by the Heavenly Father and His Son, all right, during the times of calamity. Okay, verse 2, it says, I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my power. In Him will I trust. And that's where it stops right there with us. All right, we don't do nothing but trust in the prophecies of the Lord, man. Okay, because now this is a high time of faith being boosted because we're seeing the very prophecies happen before our eyes, man. All right, what we of our apostles and elders has been saying since they hit YouTube. All right, starting with Apostle Horn speaking on Israel and Iran. Once they get active, all right, in warfare, then things are going to start speeding up. Now you have, all right, that cruel Lord, man. All right, your beloved Trump. Okay. All right. And he's moving fast, man. It's what, July? Yeah. All right. We're at the middle of July. Okay. And that's what, 7 months. And look at all the things that have been carried out. All right. By him and his administration within 7 months, man. Okay, and it's gonna continue to grow because all right, these nations are not backing down, man. Regardless of they being affected by these tariffs, all right, they're not backing down. Okay, and he's making enemies of all the nations. All right, he's making enemies above us in Canada. Okay, and everybody across the seas is against this place. Why? Because they're backing up the small hats. Okay. All right. So the solution is the destruction. All right. Which we are fighting. All right. To be protected from. Why? Because we trust in the Lord. All right. And if we continue to serve him, we trust that we'll be all right, protected. All right. So verse 3, Psalm 91:3, it says, surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence, which is the thermonuclear missiles, man. Okay, which is set to destroy this place. This is where our trust lies, that if we serve the Heavenly Father properly, we'll be delivered, all right, from that noisome pestilence. Okay, so let's get, all right, some definitions, all right, for noisome. Matter of fact, before I get it in the blue letter, let me jump over here. All right, this is on EdamronOnline.com. All right, for the word noisome, it says late 14th century, noisome, harmful, noxious, senses now obsolete, from noyer or noi, harm, misfortune. Okay, so this pestilence is set to do harm or misfortune, man. Okay, let's see. It says annoyance, annoy, and some. Okay. All right, it says annoy, it says to hurt, to harm, hurt, injure, be troublesome, vexatious, to disquiet, upset. Okay, so let's go back and get the rest of the word, some. All right, and some, all right, let's get straight. So it says tending to, causing to a considerable degree. So it's going to cause harm. All right, let's go right back to annoy again. All right, so it says it's going to cause harm, hurt, injure. It's going to cause a troublesome time, vexatious. All right, disquiet, upset. Okay, so noisome means to cause harm. Okay, let's get it in the blue letter. All right. And this is H 1942, which is Hawaha, which you'll take the A off of the last character, so it'll be Hawa. All right, Hawah, Hawa. All right, it says, let's go to the Strong's info first. All right, it says, in a sense of eagerly coveting, rushing upon, by implication of falling, desire, also ruin, calamity, iniquity, mischief, mischievous thing, naughtiness, naughty, noisome, perverse thing. Okay, There's some decent definition, but I want the main ones. Here we go. All right, in the online of biblical usage, it says desire in bad sense, chasten, figure of destruction. Okay, all right. So this noisome pestilence is bringing what? Destruction. All right, it says engulfing ruin, and that's beautiful. Why? Because hey, from shore to shore, America is going to be completely engulfed with destruction, okay, and be left desolate, according to the prophecies in the Bible. All right. Even though really say the Arabian won't even be able to pinch tent here. All right, the wild man wouldn't be able to be here. It's only going to be left for desert creatures as a memorial to the devastating judgment that the Most High has set for this place. All right, but it says engulfing ruin, destruction, calamity. Okay, so that's what's set to come to this place, man. Okay, all right, and I want to let's get I'm going to Isaiah 13 and NLT. Okay, all right, because this goes into the future of Babylon, which is America. Okay. So this is Isaiah 13 and 1 from the top in the NLT. It says a message about Babylon. It's not talking about ancient Babylon. It's talking about what you see here in America. Okay. All right. The prophecies concerning the destruction of Babylon don't fit. All right. What happened to ancient Babylon? All right. But it's Isaiah 13 and 1 in the NLT. It says Isaiah, son of Amos, received this message concerning the destruction of Babylon. Okay, so this was a message concerning the destruction of Babylon or America. All right, it says raise a signal flag on the hilltop. All right, which we're doing. We're lifting up these scriptures, man. All right, and breaking them down properly in its entirety. All right, it says call upon an army against Babylon. That army, all right, the Most High has many armies. All right, that's why he's the Lord of armies, the Lord of hosts. Okay. All right. He has the angels. All right. As one of his armies. All right. And the missiles are another one of his armies, man. Okay. So it says, call up an army against Babylon. Wave your hand to encourage them as they march into the palaces of the high and mighty. And this is not talking about no foot soldiers. All right, chanting and boo and marching. No, this is talking about missiles, man. Okay. It says, I, the Lord, have dedicated these soldiers for this task. All right. He bloweth the smith. All right, the coals in the Salakia. Matter of fact, let's get that. Yeah, I ain't want to butcher the scripture. It says Isaiah chapter 54 and verse 16. It says, behold, I have created the smiths, talking about the scientists, okay, that did what? That developed the atomic bomb. Okay, remember it was a race of all the nations, all right, to split the atom to create the atom bomb. All right, now they have got to the level of technology, okay, of what? All right, nuclear bombs. Okay, it says, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals and the fire. So that was them German scientists, all right, that the Most High put the knowledge in them to be able to split an atom to kick off this the race for atomic bomb. Okay, it says, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. Okay, just like in Isaiah 13 and NLT, the way it was worded, man, that he have set this for his works, man. Okay, it says, I have created the waster to destroy. Okay, so let's go back and see how it's worded again in Isaiah 13. All right, Isaiah 13 and 3 again. It says, I, the Lord, have dedicated these soldiers for this task to destroy. Okay, it says, yes, I have called mighty warriors to express my anger. And this is what the Lord is going to do with these missiles, man. All right. He's going to make sure, man, at the start of this kingdom, the people who are left are going to be in utter fear of the judgment of the Lord, man. All right. Everyone's going to know his name at that point. All right. Everybody's going to know who's ruling in the universe. Okay. Everybody's going to know who not to fuck with, and they're going to know who his people are. Okay? Because it's going to be the elites and their families of all the nations that's going to be left, all right, after the destruction, okay, to be the first crop of servants or slaves in the kingdom of heaven. Okay? All right. It says, and they will rejoice when I am exalted. All right. Once again, man, the Most High is doing all this to bring back, all right, honor and glory unto his name. All right. Fear and reverence. Okay. As the nations feared, all right, when he had brought destruction unto ancient Egypt. All right. Which was not a small judgment, man. All right. It says, hear the noise of the mountains. Listen as the vast armies march. It is the noise and shouting of many nations. The Lord of heaven's armies has called this army together. All right. The Most High is what called the Lord of hosts. All right. The Lord of armies. Okay. And what he's going to cause all nations, all right, to get involved, or what you're already seeing. We're in the beginning. We're in World War III, man. Okay. Which is a world war. That means all nations have to get involved. All right. So it says and they're gonna do what? This is not gonna be a battle on the battlefield. You're not gonna have all nations meet up in the Middle East and start fighting each other. No, this is gonna be a nuclear war. All right. It says they come from distant countries. All right. What? These missiles. All right. It says from beyond the farthest horizons, they are the Lord's weapons to carry out his anger. So if it was talking about actual armies, physical armies of men, all right, why would it say the Lord's weapons, all right, carry out his anger? All right, it's talking about the thermonuclear missiles, man. Okay. It says with them, he will destroy the whole land. Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed. This is a message to Babylon, remember. Okay. All right, was this place, all right, the whole land, you can still go, all right, over to that land, okay, where ancient Babylon was, man. Okay. It's not completely destroyed, all right. It says, scream in terror, for the day of the Lord has arrived, the time of the Almighty to destroy. Every arm is paralyzed with fear. Every heart melts and people are terrified. All right. Why? Because of the noisome pestilence that's coming to this place. All right. It says pangs of anguish grip them like those of a woman in labor. They look helplessly at one another, their faces aflame with fear. This is going to be a beautiful day, man. All right, when all the pride is stripped away, all the rejoicing, all right, no more entertainment, no more bullshit to distract you and act like reality ain't happened. All right. And this is going to be the end of it. Before that, we about to go see, so we're going to go through some shit to where people are going to be seeking death and not able to receive it. All right. The Lord's not going to let them off that easy, man. All right, verse 9, it says, for see, the day of the Lord is coming. What is the day of the Lord? All right. People always want to talk about judgment day, but they don't know what it entails, man. They don't understand what the Lord has set for this place as a judgment for the amount of wickedness that this place has promoted and amplified throughout the rest of the earth. Starting here, and then he's infected, all right, the whole earth with his wine. Okay. It says the terrible day of his fury and fierce anger. The land will be made desolate and all the sinners destroyed with it. So I thought the Lord he didn't hate the sinner. He only hated sin. No, he's getting ready to bring judgment. Only the elect out of the nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans will be delivered. All right. From the noisome pestilence, the ones who trusted in the Lord and fell in his security are going to be beamed up onto that fathership. Okay. All right. To meet Yahweh Shai in the sky. Okay. It says the heavens will be black above them. The stars will give no light, man. These missiles are going to blot out the sun, man. All right. On top of that, before that, chariots are going to litter the skies, man. All right, they're going to show them the glory in which the Most High's vehicles are contained, man. All right, well, it's not going to be some lights separating in the sky and disappearing and coming back. All right, this is going to be a great and terrible day, man. Okay, it says the sun will be dark when it rises, and the moon will provide no light. I, the Lord, will punish the world for its evil, and the wicked for their sins. So that's what Judgment Day is, man. You're gonna be judged according to your actions on this earth, man. That's why we're fighting, all right, to be on the right side of judgment. Okay. It says, I will crush the arrogance of the proud and humble the pride of the mighty. I will make people scarcer than gold and more rare than the fine gold of Ophir. You know, in the KJV, it goes in what it's talking about men being more precious than the gold. What type of man? A righteous man, not just a nigga with muscles. All right. No, it's going to be talking about a righteous man. It's going to be, all right, it's going to be rare because men are going to be falling like women. Okay, we've seen many examples of that, man. When the Most High brought certain judgments, these men turn bitch, man. Okay, verse 13, it says, for I will shake the heavens, the earth will move from its place when the Lord of heaven's armies display his wrath in the day of his fierce anger. So this is not talking about physical armies of men. It's talking about the nuclear missiles, man, that the Most High gave this technology to man, okay, all right, to use for his intent, all right, which was to bring an ultimate judgment onto the America, all right, in remote places of the earth. Israel, our land, has to be hit with missiles as well to be cleansed, okay? All right, that's what's going to move the earth. If it was talking about physical armies, that wouldn't be able to move the earth. No, the power of those missiles, which the Most High is going to be in those missiles, guiding them, everyone's going to hit its mark. It won't detonate miles above the earth. All right, Captain America won't come out of nowhere and stop it. All right, Batman, Superman, all the shit in the movies. All right, well, nothing will stop with the Lord's anger from being displayed through these missiles. Okay, so that's what's coming to this place and other parts of the earth. All right, destruction through thermonuclear warfare, man. Okay, which is a noisome pestilence according to the scriptures, man, and many other code names, man. Okay, that are meant for the ones, all right, who are in the secret place to understand. So that's it for this lesson. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua willing, it was edifying to the brothers and sisters who may tune in. All right, once again, giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Bashem Rakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone, and the elder high priest who taught them as well. And peace and blessings. Shalom to the Most High's elect. Keep fighting, keep pushing. We almost out of here.